wagon trains would meet up and make the 2,500-mile journey together. It would take 6 months across prairies, deserts, and mountain ranges. They were leaving in the spring so they did not become trapped by snow during the winter. They had to plan their journey west carefully. Westward expansion. The United States of America was established in 1776 by people living in the 13 original colonies along the East Coast. The nation more than doubled in 1803 when President Thomas Jefferson bought the Louisiana Purchase, the land from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains, from the French government. Jefferson then ordered Meriwether Lewis and William Clark to explore this new western territory and find a route to the Pacific Ocean. They met over 50 native tribes on their journey, many of whom provided the explorers with important supplies, information, and hospitality. Soon afterward, pioneers began moving west to settle in this new land. Between 1840 and 1850, many of these pioneers were white farmers who had been born in the East. After the Transcontinental Railroad was finished in 1869, new immigrants from Northern Europe also migrated west. German, Scandinavian, and Irish immigrants were common among them. This movement of people in the United States was known as the Westward Expansion. The Springfield families included the Reeds and Donners. They each had different reasons for emigrating to California. George and Tamsin Donner and their 5 children were farmers who wanted to leave rising crop prices and infertile land behind. California promised vast green pastures. George's brother Jacob, his wife Elizabeth, and their 7 children were also with them. James and Margaret Reed ran a successful mill and furniture business in Springfield, but Margaret suffered from headaches that James thought the California climate might cure. To make the journey as comfortable as possible for his family, James built a luxurious wagon called the Pioneer Palace Car. Most covered wagons were made simply from wood with a canvas roof. The driver sat on a wooden bench at the front to steer the oxen. Passengers got in and out from an opening in the back. But the Pioneer Palace Car had a side door, a wood-burning stove, cushioned seats, and bunks for sleeping. The Pioneer Palace Car was a marvel, but also heavy. It took a team of 8 oxen to pull it, instead of the usual 4. Oxen were the best animals for towing wagons long distance. Unlike mules and horses that only ate grass, oxen could eat sagebrush and other shrubs. They were also less likely to run away than mules and horses, but they were slower. 15 miles a day by oxen was considered good progress. This meant the families could walk alongside their wagons, which most men did. Others rode horses and mules, while men called teamsters were hired to drive the wagons themselves. Including their teamsters, the Springfield families made up 32 people. They became known as the Donner Party. A party is another name for a group. Each family had 3 wagons. The first wagon was for living in. The second wagon was like a moving truck, with the family's furniture and other possessions. The third wagon carried supplies for the journey: food, clothes, cooking utensils, and tools. A guidebook at the time suggested travelers take the following quantities of food: 150 pounds of bacon, 200 pounds of flour, 20 pounds of sugar, 10 pounds of coffee, and 10 pounds of salt. Cornmeal, cured meat, dried beans, tea, pickles, mustard, and dried fruit were also suggested. The Donner Party reached Independence, Missouri on May 10th. The town was buzzing with last-minute preparations. 2 days later, the wagon train would jump off into the prairie land of what is modern-day Kansas. George Donner's youngest daughter, Eliza, later wrote, "We took a last look at independence, turned our backs to the morning sun, and became pioneers indeed to the far west." Chapter 2. Jumping Off. After setting off from Independence, Missouri, the wagon train entered the Great Plains. Mostly flat, dry prairie land, the Great Plains stretch across 10 modern U.S. states. The wagons traveled through this territory on the Oregon Trail, a track well worn by previous wagon trains. The pioneers' progress was steady, and the weather fair. Eliza Donner later reported, "Fields of..."